Brent Rooker. This guy is hitting bombs.
Down the line, near the wall, and it is gone. Brent Rooker does it again.
That ball was annihilated. Absolutely hammered.
You look at the numbers, I mean, he's one of the best.
Hitting the ball as far as he's hitting it, that's who he is.
To the track, at the wall, he did it. What a start to the Athletics career for Brent Rooker.
Another great swing that results in a long ball.
And the hot swings continue for Brent Rooker.
This is the most fun for me, right? Brent Rooker in studio. Unless you have boots on the ground, I could only guess to what you're thinking in the box, but now having you here, talking to you off camera, I want to dive in. We can do whatever we want here. You can say pause, we could start it, we could stop it. I just want you to take me through the mindset of kind of what you're thinking, different at-bats, side angle. So let's start, because I've been on you for a while. 2017 draft, I love to go through, see what teams are doing, picking. Let's get into it right now. Because I'm going to take you back to Mississippi State. You went 35th overall, sandwich pick, right, to Minnesota? You won the Triple Crown in the SEC. Oh. Okay. I know college stats, pause that. I know college stats don't always equate to you being a good big leaguer. Has anyone won the Triple Crown?
Yeah.
In the SEC?
Me and Rafi Palmeiro. He won in 85.
And he went on to be pretty good.
He was pretty
good.
good.
So to pull that off, how proud, what were the big keys to that? Was there, like you said, as a freshman, you were wondering if I'm ever going to get on the field here, and then you turn into this.
Yeah. That was a fun year. It was, I made, I'd say the biggest, or the most swing adjustments I've ever made in my life, like wholesale swing changes, were between my redshirt sophomore and redshirt junior year. And the redshirt junior year would have been that 2017 season. So.
And what were they, and do you still do them?
Yeah, so they're still a big part of what I do now. So 2016 was my redshirt sophomore year, like I said. I was a pretty good player. I hit 320 with 10 or 11 homers, so I had a pretty good year. I just kind of had this feeling like, I think I'm close to being really good. I just need to figure out what's holding me back and what's keeping me from taking that next step.
Yeah.
So I dove into a bunch of swing stuff. We were talking about Hunter earlier. Hunter Bledsoe is my agent, and he's one of the best hitting minds around. So we dove into a ton of stuff. Changed my posture a little bit. I got a little more hinge to set up going into that season. And the biggest thing, during my sophomore year, I had this big move where I'd push way back and lose a lot of ground here, and then I just kind of launch way forward off my backside.
Yes.
And I got rid of that huge backwards move, which allowed me to be on time more, allowed me to be more adjustable to all-speed pitches, and that was kind of the biggest thing that let me take that jump.
All right, let's go. Keep going. Pretty awesome stuff. And then what happens, right? Pause this. You get picked by Minnesota. There's no spot for you. You get bounced around a little bit, and I'm sitting there. Bring up the first board, because tell the people at home, it's hard when you're getting sporadic ABs, man.
For sure.
I know 319 with 10 home runs. Maybe you didn't put yourself on that to start the year.
Right.
But take a look at people at home. Take a look at his minor league stats. They're dominant. 141 weighted runs created plus. I mean, he is a player and a half down in the minor leagues. Not easy to do. So I just wanted to bring this up because I was a bench guy when I first came up. It's rough when you're getting a pinch hit AB once a week, twice a week.
It's a tough role. I talked to John Mabry a lot about it last year during my time in Kansas City, because he was kind of, because that's the role I had.
That was his role.
He was like my first 6 years. I played every day with St. Louis, and then we traded for McGuire, and all of a sudden I'm a bench guy who gets 3-4 bats a week, and he's like, the reality of it is when you're in that role, you're hitting against 8th, 9th inning high leverage guys every time who the league's hitting 140, 150 against. So if you go out there and you're hitting 190, you're having success, and that's just a whole different mindset to have, and it's a tough place to be. And it's a real role that guys
You're result-based
well,
instead of process-based.
Absolutely. That's
Bring up the next board, and when I'm able to get process-based, this is what happens. Look at you. Jeez. You're leading the game. How's that feel?
It's pretty cool, man. I know it's a smaller sample, but it's pretty special.
Yeah.
Look up and see that. It's a lot of, it feels like a lot of the work and a lot of the time it took is starting to pay off.
So what's the pregame routine for Brent Rooker when you get there?
It's not a lot. It's get there, go through. If I'm going to lift, I lift. Do all my training room stuff.
Are you a hit outside guy?
Yeah, I hit BP pretty much every day. I like seeing ball flights and seeing kind of how the ball's coming off my bat. So I'll do my cage work, which isn't super extensive. Just 2-3 rounds of flips, go into BP, and then hit a little fastball machine. 20-25 minutes before the game.
Now you said you dive into the analytics pretty deep.
Yeah.
You're in on it.
Yeah.
What are you focused on? Are you putting like sensors on your bat?
I like K-Vest stuff. We use a lot of the K-Vest to kind of see how my body's sequencing, where the speed's coming from, what I'm doing well, what may be a little bit off.
Where are you trying, because I obviously haven't had that on. When you say where the speed's coming from, at what point,
Yeah, so ideally, obviously, you've got one around your waist, that's gonna go first, and your chest's gonna go, then your arm's gonna go, then your hands are gonna go after that. So you're kind of creating that kinematic sequence, allowing you to create the whip and the rotational speed that you're looking for.
So look at this, you have from college stood up a little bit taller.
Yep, a little bit taller.
So take me through it, run this. Got a little baby toe tap. I was a huge toe tap guy. Just something to feel my weight getting into the inside of my back leg. And you can run this back, take us back.
So the big thing here is I'm talking about that big forward move. If you watch this point in my hip right here,
Pause that. Everybody's on this coiling of the back hip.
So my big thing is I don't want, so you see JJ here, I don't want this to cover up any more of JJ when I start my toe tap than when it starts. And it doesn't, right? You get that coil, you're moving forward.
So there's no going back. It's almost like a golfer kind of spine angle and rotating around my spine.
So a drill I do in the off season is, we'll be here, and I've got some kind of bat or a pull right here. I want to go through my move. I don't want to go hit that. I don't want to sway back to hit where that is. I want this to stay the same, and I want that to be the storage move, not like a push backwards.
Head doesn't move.
That's right.
Already synced up. Toe tap's always been something you've done?
Toe tap has been in place since 2016, yeah. So that my redshirt sophomore year in college.
Here you are. Here's a perfect example, right? You could just tell body language, not every day at bats, fighting for your life, and hey, I know I'm getting 4 a night.
That's a much more offensive look for sure.
A little bit more open with your...
A little bit more open. I'm probably a little closer to the plate here than I am here. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the being open. Last year in AAA, the first month, I kind of made a decision, look, I'm going to stand on the plate, I'm going to open up a little bit, I'm going to stay open, I'm just going to try to hit as many balls in the air to left center field as I can.
Really?
That's what I'm good at, and that's what's going to keep me here. So we might as well just maximize that and try to do it as much as we can.
Are you a curveball machine guy, high velocity machine guy?
Most of my machine work will be fastballs, the high spin up in the zone, just trying to make sure I can cover that. Because I feel like if I can cover that pitch, you can adjust down to the rest of it. But that's the tough one, the 96, the top of the zone with 20 inches of vert. It's tough to carry, or tough to cover.
All right, let's go through some ABs. 3 real quick. Little heater by you right there.
Yep.
Another heater, pause this. Pause. 0-2. He's thrown 2 heaters. I mean, what are you thinking right here?
So if you go back to the last fastball.
Run it back.
That's 95 at the very top. And I at least foul it off. So I know I can cover it, right? It's okay. If I make that same move and have that same mindset, I can cover the fastball at the top. And if I can cover that fastball at the top and at least foul it off with 2 strikes, then I know I'm on the rest of the pitches. And I know I've got time to adjust to it.
You weren't expecting a cement mixer 0-2 in the middle of the dish.
So then you get you foul off the good fastball, obviously 1-2 strike tip, then you get the hang and break the ball, and that's what we're looking to do damage on right there.
Ohtani.
Good slider. He's got one of those. He has a good slider if you guys aren't paying attention.
What's that?
That's a little cutter. So I talked about this on the radio, but he has 6 pitches.
I know, I can't.
But every one of them is different. So he's gonna throw one slider, it's gonna be 82, and it's gonna move 16 inches. He's gonna throw the next slider, and it's gonna be 89, it's gonna move 13 inches. So if he throws, he goes out there and throws 85 pitches in a start. They're like 79 different pitches. No 2 things he throws is the same. He's got the carry heater with the arm side. He's got the cut heater, the big slider, the tighter slider, the shorter cutter. That was a cutter I hit there, though, I think, at 91.
That's a mistake by him in that spot. But he's got a 5-0 lead.
Yeah. No, just a good,
Let you have one. Okay, pause that. So you see that pitch go over your head.
Yeah, I am sold out breaking ball. That's what, yeah.
So
figured,
run this, because I thought this was comical, right? Now he's saying I'm sold out breaking ball, 1-0. I just had a ball get dusted over my head. How are you on that?
Yeah, I mean, I see the sinker go, way over my head. I feel like, okay, he doesn't have a great feel for that right now. He wants to throw a strike right here. He's going to do something different. So it's either going to be the slider or curveball. I'm looking for spin.
So you sit pitches.
Oh, so I'm on fastball a large majority of the time, almost always. But there are some times, as you know, where the game's screaming at you, spin's coming. Whether it's the pitcher, the situation, the count, some combination of the three.
I
where
agree.
The game's just yelling at you, hey man, like, breaking ball's coming. And at those times, yeah, I'll get off it and I'll look breaking ball. But I'd say I'm on fastball a large majority of the time.
Some of the greatest hitters in the game, man, it varies. Some, like Derek Jeter, never came off fastball.
Right.
Chipper Jones, who
Right.
I followed around,
Yeah.
was like you. Listen, I'm on the heater, but if it's screaming something else, I'm taking my chance.
Exactly. I think when you're at your best, or speaking for myself, when I'm at my best, I have the ability. Okay, I'm on fastball, but then
Almost
if you hang a breaking
between.
ball, like I can still cover it.
Are you a guy that's in those moments thinking I'm going to take the heater the other way, or no?
It depends on the fastball, right? There's some guys I need to catch it out front. I need to pull this thing to have a chance. And then there's some lefty with the arm side that I'll look a little more right center than I would usually.
All right, let's have a little fun real quick. I'm going to take you back. You went deep in this game, but then you also had an interesting exchange. You got ejected.
I did. That was the first one of my career there.
What'd you say?
Look, I understand. I knew that I probably swung. I was aware of that. I wanted to check. I just was making sure, we're not going to check that, and he didn't want to check it. So then, only thing I said after that was I just made sure that he knew that the strike one he called was also like 2 balls off away. So I needed to know that too.
Let him know, Brent.
Yeah, I don't think I deserved it, but it is what it is.
He said, look up at my batting average right now. I'm leading the league in OPS.
Like, yeah, that's a swing, but I didn't think it was egregious enough of a swing to not check it, was my whole thing.
Hey, Brent, real quick, in our previous segment, you discussed how pitch recognition isn't necessarily just with the eyes, but it was more with your setup and other physical
a learned skill.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you delve into that just a little bit?
Yeah, can we get a side view? One of the side views back up? And
Oh
I think
my God, he's going to work here.
I know, he's definitely ready.
Here he comes.
He's ready, man.
So let me get a side view homer.
Just give Lucas just
Lucas
1
just
second.
gave me a standby in my ear, Brent.
That's my fault, Lucas. I'm sorry.
Of all the current players we've had, D-Row, he's like most TV ready. I'm
He's
serious.
the first one to ever call for a side angle.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we run it, like the move I'm looking for that I think is leading to the improved chase rate, staying in the zone a little bit more, is when I go to turn, I want my hands, when I start to open, my hands need to lay back here and create that last bit of separation. When I start to turn and my hands go with me, that's when the chase comes into play, because you get to this point, you have to start your swing every pitch, right?
Yeah.
If I start my swing fastball here and now it's breaking ball, I can't stop. So now I'm going to chase the breaking ball. But if my first move is lay here and create that separation, I'm going fastball, breaking ball. Now I have room to stop back here. So that's the move I'm looking for with my hands. If we kind of run that slowish, and we have the iPads in the dugout.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for when I go back and watch the
Pause
at-bats.
it.
And if we
Do
go
it click by click.
Yeah, slow, slow, slow.
Can you just click it one? Yeah, like that.
So I start to open, and my hands make
Well,
that little
pause.
lay back move. That's going to allow me to have that adjustability and stop. So I can go right here, and then if I recognize, oh, that's a breaking ball I don't want to swing at, I can still shut it down.
Man.
Whereas if my hands start to turn with me immediately, and even if I recognize that's not a pitch I want to swing at, I can't stop. So that's where the difference is. It's not pitch recognition. It's just the putting your body in a position to have the ability to shut down later.
Yes.
Exactly.
No.
I've never heard it explained.
That was really well done.
That's really well.
Bring up the board real quick, Robert, because talking to him off camera, he said he is into the analytics. He dives in.
Look at this.
I mean, K percent, obviously you're raking, but you're aggressive in the strike zone.
Right.
Chase percentage is way down. Look at the bottom, man. 1 of 2 hitters with a zone swing percentage above 72% and chase percentage. Who's the other, Nays? Marcus Semien.
Wow.
So you're
Great
doing
stuff.
it, man.
Yeah, that's it. And
Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
coming in. I
Yeah.
could stay up
Thanks
here
for
an
coming
hour
in,
with
Brent. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I enjoyed it.
Coming in,
I enjoyed it.
especially after a night game. Can you stick around and maybe pick up an MLB Now shift or an MLB Tonight shift? Because you're ready.
Yeah,
You're
whatever you guys need me to do.